Are you a pageant fan or contestant that wants an expert opinion on what happened at Miss Grand India 2025? If you're feeling overwhelmed by all of the pageant commentary and don't have a clear understanding on why there is so much discourse about the winner chosen, then you have come to the right place. I'm going to share my honest and live review of all of the contestants who made the top cut in Miss Grand India. And I'm going to share my analysis of who I thought were the top performing contestants and who I thought should have progressed further. If you have been watching me for a while, then you know that whenever I make predictions or reviews, I don't pick contestants just because they're from a sash factor country or because they are a fan favorite. I like to review all of the contestants fairly, and when I'm doing my analysis of who I think are the top performers, I base it on performance, not on which pageant or sash factor country these contestants are coming from. Remember, I like to keep my analysis of the contestants real. I pick who gave the best performance, not on who's the most popular. I have 10 years experience in the pageant industry. I won my Australian national title. I placed first runner-up internationally, and I'm a pageant coach, which makes me an expert in this field. Without further ado, let's dive into the swimwear section of Miss Grand India 2025. Okay, kicking off the first woman in the Miss Grand India swimwear section. Here we go. Okay, they're not flashing up the names straight away. Okay, the lighting is very dark. It's actually quite hard to see the contestants. Oh, okay. So contestant 1, she's walking out onto the stage. I love her powerful walk though, very strong walk. Looks a little off balance on those heels. I like the execution of the spin turn. Wish she slowed down that posing, but Alicia did a great job. She's a solid pick. Okay, we have our next contestant. I wish they had more lighting on the women when they're in that opening pose. Oh, very Miss Grand with the, come here. Great facials, powerful walk, hand on hip. I'm liking the walk, but I wish she took larger steps. It looks almost a bit comical, but apart from that, Anaya, I think it is. Great performance. Very confident. Ooh, what a fiery spin turn open. Very eye-catching. Strong posing. Oh, very confident. Love the arms. Love the hair flick. Oh, this is a Miss Grand performance, that's for sure. Nice strut. Excellent execution of the spin turn. Strong and posing. Very Miss Grand. Okay, this is probably one of my top picks so far for Miss Grand India. Now we have our next lovely contestant. We should put the shoulders back a little bit more, but I love the warm smile. Great arm movements. Very Miss Grand style. I love the half spin turn and hair flick. Great execution. Very fierce strut. That was a great execution. Oh wow, next contestant. That was fast. I really like that little opening. Okay, here we go. Next contestant. Oh, this is fierce. This is giving Victoria's Secret. Nice execution of that sequence, but I think it was a bit too fast paced and I think she should have maybe reduced it a little bit, but that's okay. This is definitely giving the grand energy. Lots of gestures. It's very extra. Okay, we've already cut to the next contestant. Let's keep going. Okay, that was nice, sleek and controlled. I liked that opening a lot. Oh, I really like her walk. She has a very elegant walk. I love the hair flick over the shoulder. Nice posing. She's got a very strong strut. Okay, fun and playful M posing. Great spin turn execution. Strong M posing, hair flick. Okay, that was a Miss Grand performance. That would have to be one of my top picks so far. I love Miss Grand. Miss Grand is so fun. Okay, next contestant. Oh, I like that spin into her walk down the runway. Bit of a ballet style pirouette. Very nice. She blew the audience a kiss. Very playful. I would have liked a bit more energy, a bit more speed. I'm not sure about the M posing. Okay, that was a nice performance. We have our next contestant. Oh, very fierce facial expressions. I think all the contestants are doing this with their arms. Not that I don't like it. Oh, that was a fantastic spinning sequence. Really strong walk. Oh, I really like the end posing. Fierce, very strong. That was a great swimwear performance. Well done. Okay, we have our next contestant. Nice opening. Pointing towards the audience. I love that. Nice hair flick. I'm not sure about wearing black shoes, but that's okay. It's minor. Too many poses in that sequence for me, but they were all done very well. Okay, I'm not really sure about that particular leaning forward in swimwear, unfortunately. I do know it's Miss Grand, but maybe a little bit provocative. I'm not really sure. Okay, next contestant. Nice. This is like giving quiet confidence. It's like not too much. I like this routine a lot so far. Great walk. So far she's a standout for me. Really strong and elegant end posing. See, that routine was great. It wasn't too much. It was still like a standout performance for me, but maybe she'll lose points because it wasn't grand enough. I'm not sure. Okay, this is a catwalk. She has a fantastic ramp walk. Excellent execution of the spin turn and posing. Very sophisticated. I love the hair flick. That is a great strut. Very strong end posing. Well executed. Oh, that's giving like winner's energy. She is 100% a standout for me, like a top pick. Okay, we have our next contestant. I loved her opening. Little hair flick. I feel like she's kind of holding back so far. Okay, I like the spin. I like the posing. Pointing to the audience. I actually really like this performance. It's like not too much. She's got the Miss Grand elements in her routine and she just executed it perfectly. I think that was a great routine. Okay, next contestant. Nice. I think she should be looking at the audience as she's walking across the stage. We've got the arms up, arms down. Nice look over the shoulder. Ooh, great spin turn sequence. Oh, she actually almost lost balance for a second, but maybe that's part of the routine. I think she just blew the audience a kiss. Nice strong end posing. Good use of the arms, definitely bringing Miss Grand. It is a lot though, isn't it? Miss Grand is like so different to the other pageant systems. Next contestant. Okay, we haven't done too much yet. Great spin. I think she almost lost balance for a really short time period. I like the end posing, but I just think her sequencing just needed to be tidied up just a little bit. Okay, we have our next contestant. Gosh, those shoes are so high. I guess all of the shoes are really high, aren't they? Okay, she needs to bring a little bit more energy, but I like the sort of quiet confidence, but I kind of want more energy from this walk. I do like her posing. It's not too in your face, but it's still Miss Grand. I think I can see what she was trying to do with those end poses, but I feel like she just needed a little bit more energy into them. Okay, we have our next contestant. Gosh, everyone is doing the same arms in the opening. That's okay though. Great execution of her half spin turn. Again with the arms. Let's see what her end posing is going to be. Okay, nice strong side stance. I think she just needed to do a little bit more in her routine to stand out, but overall it was a very confident performance. We have our next contestant. Oh wow, that was a different opening. Same arms. I don't know, she's getting the crowd to get excited. Hair flick. Was she off balance for a second? I can't really tell. Okay, great confidence. I like the end posing. She really took her time in that final stance. She didn't do as much as some of the other contestants, but maybe that will work for her. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, next contestant. Blew the audience a kiss. Nice side posing. I like this sequencing. It's not too much, and she's obviously practiced it a lot. I really like the shapes. I really like her M posing. It's very elegant. Also, the camera angles at Miss Grand India needed a little bit of work. Okay, next contestant. I think she needed to work on the shoulder movement a bit. It's a bit too much movement in the shoulders, but not in the right way. I liked the routine. I think it just needed a little bit more work. I can't put my finger on it, but next contestant. Okay, I love this contestant's energy. Great smile. Okay, just having a lot of fun with this initial section, but that's very Miss Grand, so I'm going to give her points for bringing the Miss Grand energy. Oh wow, the M posing is a lot, I won't lie, but... Oh! Okay, this is more like maybe like a music video, but okay, she gets points for bringing all of the energy to Miss Grand. Okay, next contestant. I really like her strut, great hip action. Oh, she took a few steps backwards. Okay, I just feel like people are auditioning for a Lady Gaga video and not actually a beauty pageant, but that's okay. Miss Grand definitely sets itself apart in that sense. Oh my goodness, sometimes I don't know what I'm watching when I'm watching a Miss Grand pageant. I loved her energy, it was confident, great execution. Okay, next contestant. Oh, I think she kind of lost track of where the steps were for 1 second, but that's okay, great recovery. Love her smile. Beautiful walk, great hip action. I like that spinning sequence and then the slow return to the walk. This is a solid routine for me. Like, this is grand, but it's not too in your face. I love this routine. She is a standout for me. Oh, and she's really taking her time in that final pose. Okay, you go, girl. You're in my top picks. Okay, next contestant. Would have liked a bit more energy in her facials as she was walking towards the judges. That's okay. Again, everyone's doing the same arm movement. I really liked her spin turn and sashay back down the runway. I think she's put her head up a little bit more too. It looks like she's kind of like leaning forward a bit. I like her final M posing though. And I think that this is a pretty solid performance. Okay, nice. Okay, next contestant. Very confident. I love that she's actually looking at the judges as she's like walking across the stage. Beautiful. Wow, this contestant, Sweetie Gayari, is really standing out to me. She's so tall. This is a standout performance. I'm really impressed. This is really fun. It's electric. She's got great control and command. It doesn't feel like she's falling all over the place. That was a great routine. That was definitely giving that like grand international kind of vibe. So well done. You were in my top picks. Next contestant. Love that opening. So far, so good. Great walk. Lovely hip action. She's confident. She's got the chin up, little wiggle. Perfect sequence. Well done. She has a great command of the stage. Very eye-catching. Really like the strong M posing. You see, that's a good sequence for M posing. Like, she did quite a few moves, but she held them just long enough that it wasn't too all over the place. Okay, next contestant. Wow, there are a lot of contestants. Okay, very confident. Oh, she has a fantastic strut. Great hip action, but she looks like really relaxed but still purposeful. Fantastic spin turn. Ooh. Okay, that was a fun sequence. Like, that was very grand. It was a lot, but it wasn't too much. I love this end posing and the little shoulder shakes. She's doing all the Miss Grand movements and really holding that final position in front of the judges. That was a top performance. Okay, next contestant. I love that she's looking at the audience as she's walking across the stage. I love that she hasn't done the same arms as everyone else in this opening. That's refreshing. Oh, that was a nice sequence. She's got a great walk. I love that she's taking really long strides. Oh, this is a good performance. It's not too much. She's got the fierce look in her eye, making beautiful shapes with her arms and legs and her posing. That's like a killer performance. Well done. Next contestant. I want a little bit more energy in the facials, but I do like that she hasn't done the same arms as everyone else. Nice, strong, simple posing. Smiling at the judges. Very controlled half spin turn and a hair flick. Well done. Oh, I love her facials. She's got a really like sweet, happy kind of vibe. And I like that this routine isn't like too much. Okay, that was a great performance. And we have our next contestant. Ooh, she's really taking her time in this. Oh, and they've gone back to the other contestant. See, the camera angles are like a little bit. Loved your opening number, but the camera angles for swim needed a little bit of work because I felt like they would skip between the contestant who was walking off stage and then the one that was coming back on stage, but that's okay. It is what it is. Okay, I guess I should do my top picks, which I'm going to have to do later because I'm recording this live. So when I'm editing, I will review the contestants and their names and I will share who has made my top picks from the swimwear round. Anaya, Apurvat, Gyanga, Gidashri, Kanak, Manya, Nandini, Priyanshu, Sweetie, Tansi, and Srila, Vanlao, and Vishaka. But what I want to do now is record live my reaction to the evening wear round and then of course the question and answer section, so let's do that. Okay, now it's time for my live reaction to evening gown. Starting with our first contestant looking radiant in a beautiful orange beaded gown. Very elegant descent down the stairs. I really love this orange color. It is absolutely mesmerizing under the lights. Beautiful use of her cape. Nice posing. I like the hands on hips, but I think that there's something about this routine, maybe the arm movements, that could have been slowed down just a little bit more, just to look a bit more regal and graceful and a bit more controlled. But overall, she does look very beautiful on the stage, but I think that some parts just need to be slowed down. Okay, we have our next contestant looking radiant in green. I don't know why, but in the pageant world, there is a myth that you cannot win in a green dress, but I think there have been some contestants who have won in green, so I'm not sure how true that is. I really love her short hair. That looks gorgeous. See, I'm not really sure about her flapping her cape that many times. It almost looked like a bird trying to take off from the water, but I think evening gown needs to be just one dramatic flick. And I'm not really sure I love the use of the cape in this particular round. It's actually quite distracting from an otherwise lovely evening gown routine. She has a beautiful walk, very beautiful facially, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how she keeps using the cape like a bird, unless it's part of like her story. If she's got some sort of, unless she references why she did that, maybe in the top 5 Q&A, if she makes top 5, I'm not sure. Okay, see that, this contestant in the white, that's a better way to use one's cape, I think. Elegant walk, not too fast, not too slow. I do think she could have actually slowed down that walk just a tiny bit. Oh, beautiful. I see, that's how I love a cape to be used. A nice throw and a slow look over the shoulder. She looks absolutely radiant in white. Very beautiful walk. Oh, I love the posing and the shapes she's making with her arms. Very elegant. Beautiful half spin. She's really taking her time. This is how contestants stand out, is by not rushing. I love her facial expressions. She looks really confident and really regal in this particular look. I think she's doing a great job in evening gown. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. I love her hand and arm placement. That was a great evening routine. Let's see who can top that. Oh, we have our next contestant, also in a white, sort of silvery gown. Very beautiful on the stage. I love that she's not rushing her walk. Nice use of her cape, very elegant. Always makes me nervous when contestants have to actually take a step down some stairs in an evening gown, but she handled that very well. She's got a beautiful, like, gentle smile. Ooh, loving the use of the cape. Very beautiful, very elegant. She's got the right pace and tempo for evening gown. I like the pace that she's like walking at. Very soft, very like royal kind of vibes. See, I don't like how much time though she has her back to the judges when she does that sort of flick. It's the second time she's done that. It's like not too long, but it's long enough that I notice. Okay, we have our next contestant in a mesmerizing fuchsia gown. I love the high sleek ponytail and the beautiful drop earrings. So far, this is one of the better evening wear walks that I've seen, because evening wear is like slow, sultry and controlled, almost like you're walking through honey. She's got beautiful posture, great hip movement. I'm loving the arm placements. This is honestly probably like the better walk, one of the better walks that I have seen so far in evening wear. And we're only like a few contestants into evening wear, but still. I think she was slightly off balance for a second, but she made a good recovery. I love the detailing of her gown as well. Very intricate, very beautiful. Oh, she is owning the stage in this round. She's doing such a great job. Beautiful posing. I love the shapes she's making with her arms. Bit of a hair grab. Stunning. That was a great performance. Next, we have a beautiful purple and sheer evening gown. I love that she's looking over her shoulder at the audience as she's walking across the stage. She's added in a very beautiful spin, nice hands on hips, beautiful arm motion. Oh, this is a great evening gown routine. Loving the hip action, very sultry, very controlled. Will she do a spin turn? Yes, she will. Oh, I love the arm movements. Very graceful. That was very regal. I really like this. It's like not too much, not too little. Very elegant. Beautiful. Very solid performance for the evening wear round. Definitely giving that sort of like international vibe. Okay, so next we have our next contestant in a beautiful sort of purple or fuchsia gown. I really like the sort of half up, half down hairstyle. Beautiful matching earrings. Nice look over the shoulder. Wish the camera would zoom in just a bit more. Oh, that is such a beautiful gown. Let's see how her posing goes. Oh, that's very Miss Grand. I love how she used her like beautiful dress, like when she was spinning like a princess. Absolutely beautiful. Nice slow walk. Not sure about blowing a kiss in evening wear round. Maybe the judges will like it because it's playful and it is Miss Grand, but evening wear I think is meant to be more like regal, not as like playful. But I do like her end posing. I think it just needed maybe a little bit more practice, but overall that was a pretty good performance. Okay, our next contestant is wearing a dashing red gown. She has a nice slow tempo walking across the stage, beautiful hand on hip posing. She made it down the stairs, perfect. Oh, different arms for this. Oh no, that was actually okay, I think, for evening gown. Oh, this is giving grand. This is a great routine. So far, so good. Very like slow and controlled walk, which we definitely love to see in the evening round section, or evening gown section, I should say. I'm not sure about doing that with her arms just then, because I feel like that's what you would do if you had a cape to throw, but still eye-catching. Nice performance. Ooh, our next contestant is wearing a beautiful blue evening gown. It's like a one-shouldered gown. That's absolutely stunning. I really like the design of this evening gown. It's kind of modern, but still really elegant and regal. Oh, this is such a stunning gown. Like, this is the kind of gown that I would like to wear. The only issue with wearing this dark blue gown is that, unfortunately, because the backdrop is also blue, it doesn't stand out that much, but it's clearly a very beautiful gown. Anyway, I think she has a great tempo. I love the updo with a bit of the fringe out. Very elegant. I think that arm routine could use a bit of work. I was expecting her to like do something grander, but then she sort of just put her hands on her hips, and I don't think it had the effect she was looking for. And then I think she stumbled a bit, moved her dress. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think the routine needs a little bit of work, but I think that this contestant definitely has a lot of potential in the future, but I don't think that this would cut it for internationals, unfortunately. But let's see how she recovers at the end pose. It's like she keeps moving her dress. Solid foundations, but I think that with a bit of work, I think this contestant could do better in the future. Okay, next contestant is wearing a beautiful nude and purple gown. Very elegant. This contestant and her gown actually reminds me a little bit of Michaela Fowler, who was Miss Grand Australia a few years back. I almost think it's the same gown, or very similar. I might put up an image on the screen when I'm editing this later. I love her routine. This is a very elegant, beautiful evening gown routine. It's very classy and sophisticated. It's not too much, but still grand. Really nice and soft facial expressions. Her arms are really elegant by her side. Nice placement on the hips. Ooh, I like the dramatic shoulder hair flick. Absolutely stunning. This is one of my top picks for sure. Ooh, next contestant looking radiant in white. Nice and fierce facial expressions as she is walking along the stage. Really taking her time and not rushing this particular segment. Ooh, I really liked her spin and that twist. Just made it down the stairs, safe and sound, which we'd like to see, obviously. I do wish pageants would just stop using stages where they have steps, because it makes me nervous. Now this gown and the over-the-shoulder fabric is very regal looking. I'm not 100% sure I'm sold on the arm movements here, but I have to keep reminding myself that this is Miss Grand India, and grand is great and everything's bigger and better. I do think she's got a lovely sultry walk, lovely hip action. She's really making that eye contact with the camera, which I haven't seen as much from the other contestants, so she gets points from me. And overall, I think that this is a really solid performance for evening wear. Okay, now for our next contestant, looking very beautiful in a sort of gold and sheer evening gown. This is a very beautiful gown. She has a nice slow walk, Oh, she's looking away from the audience. Hopefully she's doing a big reveal. Yes, over the shoulder reveal and a nice twist to return to face the judges. Okay, this is a really nice steady and slow walk, very graceful. She's really taking her time, and I like that her walk is very smooth. That was a very gorgeous spin. I love it when contestants place their arms like that. I'm not 100% sold. I'm not fully sold on the over the head arms because I like evening gown to be elegant and sultry. I don't mind a little bit, but I feel like we can save the big hello for like swimwear or... Oh, but I do like the end posing and the arm gestures. That's very elegant, very eye-catching. And she just looks very beautiful. This is a great performance. Ooh, I love this contestant's opening pose. I'm not sure about this for evening wear, but I will give it a pass because it is Miss Grand. Loving the silver and blue gown. She's lucky that the top half of her gown is more silver than blue because we have seen a lot of the contestants are being swallowed up if they're wearing a blue gown because the background is also blue, unfortunately, but as a contestant, you never really know what color the backdrop will be. Oh, she's really taking slow, dramatic strides, which I like. Very intentional posing. I really like this sequencing actually. This is very beautiful. Great facial transitions. While I love the dramatic strides, I think she just needs to be careful not to bop too much with the hip movement, but I do like the hip movement. This routine is giving drama, and for that reason, this would be a top pick for me, especially given that this is Miss Grand. Ooh, I love this contestant's yellow dress. What a beautiful, like golden yellow gown and cape. I really love the cut and the design of this particular dress, and I really like the sheer cape. I also think that when the cape is a bit more sheer and a lighter fabric, it's a lot easier for the contestants to use when they're doing their routines. So far, I think this is a beautiful, elegant evening gown routine. I really like her arm and hand movements. This contestant looks very graceful and sure of herself. She's not trying too hard. She looks very relaxed. I'm not sure about the wave. Beautiful final posing, very elegant, very demure, very mindful. Oh, that was beautiful. I think that's one of my favorites. There's just something about that routine that I really love. Okay, next contestant is wearing a beautiful silvery sort of white evening gown. Nice look over the shoulder. She's walking across the stage. I think a little bit more facial expression, or a little bit more, of a turn towards the audience would have been good as she was walking across the stage. She looked a little bit unsteady going down those stairs, but you know what? I wouldn't ever deduct, I think, points for that. She has a nice slow walk, but I think that perhaps her posture needs slight improvement and just a little bit more hip action. And I'm not sure about holding her arm out to the side for such a sustained time period. I do like some pausing in evening routines, but usually it needs to be off just for like a second and then continue. But anyway. Unfortunately, I think the routine is lacking just a little bit of pizzazz, but she does look very beautiful. I think that this contestant just needs a bit more practice and fine-tuning, and I think that she could actually go really far in the future. Okay, now for our next contestant, again in a beautiful blue gown with some very lovely cutouts at the sides. Also, sorry if you can hear that, that's my puppy dog off to the side with her chew toys. Oh, I really love that opening. That is absolutely beautiful, stunning, and dramatic. That was so graceful and elegant. Okay. Now this contestant has really caught my eye. I'm curious to see what she'll do for that first initial posing station. Okay, this is really elegant. I love her posing. It's very graceful and regal. This is like a very sophisticated evening gown routine. It's not like too much. And I know that Grand is all about the arm movements, but at the end of the day, I think that she's standing out because she's just really sure of herself, very controlled, and everything is really balanced. That was a great evening routine. Well done. Okay, for our next contestant, she's wearing a beautiful, I think, nude and silver embellished gown. She's very like facially stunning. I'm not really sure about holding her arm out to the side though. It's a bit unusual, I would say, actually. But overall, I think that her walk is lovely. I think she should keep the arms to her side just a little bit more. They're kind of a little bit robotic, but she's recovering now with this very beautiful, controlled, dramatic posing. Yeah, the arms, the way she's swinging her arms, it's a bit robotic, but when she stops to pose, her posing's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, a bit of a mix. Ooh, okay, our next contestant looks like a Disney princess in a beautiful yellow off-the-shoulder gown. This looks absolutely stunning. Oh, that was a great opening spin and flick of her cape. Gosh, this is a really standout gown. The yellow looks absolutely magnificent against that blue backdrop. She got very lucky. The one thing I will say is I do not like those shoes though. The white shoes are really distracting. I would have liked to have seen her in like a nude heel or a gold or yellow heel instead, but that's okay. Her posing is 10 out of 10. She looks magnificent. She looks absolutely stunning. I think she should have done one less flick at the end of the runway, but I really liked her routine. She is a top pick for me. Okay, our next contestant is wearing a radiant red evening gown. And again, white heels. I do not really rate white heels. They look a little bit out of place at a pageant. Usually when you're in a pageant, you want to make your legs look really long, so you choose a color that matches your skin tone. But if you go for a block color like white or black or basically any color that's not like, you know, a skin tone color, it makes your legs look shorter. So I'm not a huge fan of the shoes, but getting back to her beautiful red evening gown, she does look absolutely stunning. I'm not 100% sure on having her arms reached out to the front while she's walking. I don't think that looks the most elegant, but she's recovering in her final posing. Nice performance. Okay, our next contestant is wearing a beautiful silver embellished evening gown. She's got that great side eye, or what should I say? She is doing a great job at looking at the audience while walking side on across the stage. Very elegant opening pose. Oh wow, she just did what looks like some sort of half spin turn on the stairs. Well, that gets a few points from me. That would have been really difficult to not trip over her gown. She looks absolutely radiant. I think her arm movement is beautiful. Very dramatic pose. I'm on the fence, but it caught my attention and she is standing out right now. I like the slow and sultry walk. She's got really strong facial expressions. She looks very confident and relaxed on stage. This is definitely a Miss Grand performance. Well done. Now we have our next contestant in a beautiful blue evening gown. It's like a pale blue. She really took her time with that sort of opening moment before she started walking across the stage, which is a good way to get the judges' attention. That was a very beautiful opening pose for the audience. She made it down the stairs okay, which is great to see. She has a really confident walk. I like her walk. She takes nice strides. Ooh, what a beautiful and intricate pose for evening. Very dramatic. Really taking her time here. I'm not 100% sure I loved that, but again, I think a lot of the contestants are trying to fit in the number one because, you know, Miss Grand, the one and only. But I feel like she's recovered a bit in her final posing. Very elegant movement with the arms. Solid performance. Okay, now we have our next contestant who's wearing a beautiful sheer, sort of like lilac evening gown. I have to wait until she steps into the light to see the true color. No, I think I'm right. It's like a beautiful sheer lilac sort of purple evening gown. I would like to see those shoulders back and open just a little bit more. I've noticed actually a lot of the ladies, they just need to sort of fix their posture a little bit because it makes them look more confident. Instead of walking like sort of relaxed, you want to have like shoulders back, head slightly up. But that's just the coach in me, so to speak. Oh, just had a little bit of a trip in her spin sequence, but she's recovered. Now facially, this contestant is absolutely gorgeous. She looks beautiful in this evening gown. I do love it when the sleeves are long but sheer. Looks very regal. Oh, I think she's really recovered at the end of this routine. She's got really strong end posing, very elegant, and I really like the shapes she's making with her arms. I think she just needed a bit more work and that would have been a great performance. Okay, now we have our next contestant looking radiant in white. It looks like white has been a popular choice of evening gown, which makes sense because the backdrop is blue, so any colors like whites or like yellows and golds have been really standing out with this beautiful dark blue backdrop. I feel like there was slight hesitation with her arms. It was almost like she was remembering she was meant to start the other way, or maybe that was a part of the routine. I'm not sure. She's a nice slow walk. She looks very soft, very confident. I like the final placement of her arms in her end posing. See, that was a simple routine, but it was well executed. So our next contestant is coming out in a beautiful, I think white and sheer evening gown. Now, I think this was one of my favorite contestants in the swimwear round, and she is bringing it to evening gown as well. She has such a confident walk, great posture. The timing of her arms is absolutely perfect. Oh, I do like what she's doing here in her posing sequence. She's a beautiful walk. She's making great eye contact with the camera. This is a really solid performance. Beautiful arm movements here in her final posing. Very confident. Definitely a standout performance. Next, we have a contestant wearing green, which I mentioned before is a color that many pageant girls are afraid to wear because they think that it's hard to win if you wear green. But we have seen women win in green, so it's not impossible. Now, I must say, this evening gown is absolutely mesmerizing. She looks fantastic. Such an incredible design, especially with the matching gloves. She looks fantastic. And I think that how it's like a halter neck gown, it actually makes her look really tall. I'm sure she's already a tall contestant, but she looks exceptionally tall in this particular gown. I can see what she's trying to do with the arm posing, but I think it just needed a little bit of refinement. But overall, I think it's very beautiful and eye-catching in this particular area. Looks like she's tripping on her gown, or her heel has got caught, but she's recovered very well. She's blown a kiss. She looks very happy. She looks very relaxed. It does look like her heel or something is caught in her dress, so she looks a little bit unsteady when the camera zooms in, but she's recovered really well in those final end poses. that was a bit of a standout performance for me. So we have another contestant looking beautiful in blue. Lovely use of her cape. Oh wow, she looks like a princess. I thought she was going to spin her cape like that. I wish actually that she would have let it go after that initial spin, because I do find it distracting when contestants continue to like throw their capes, but still she's let go of the cape now. Hands on hips, she's got great hip action, radiant smile, a beautiful walk. She looks like she's enjoying herself on stage, which obviously the audience loves to see. Oh, and now she's giving us a bit more of a fierce facial expression. So she's showing a lot of skill, like when contestants can go from happy to like more serious. Shows a lot of confidence and command, I guess, of their posture and their facial expressions. That was a winning performance. Well done to this contestant. Okay, our next contestant is looking absolutely dazzling in silver. Great color, especially given the dark blue backdrop. Ooh, she is taking her time walking across the stage. She's walking very slowly and smoothly, which is what we do want to see in the evening wear round. Beautiful spin into her opening pose. Nice flick of the cape. Graceful descent down the stairs. I really like the slow pace. Like, she's got a really elegant walk. She looks very regal, very queen-like, and she's really taking her time. See, she hasn't really overcomplicated her posing and turning. So far, she's kept it really simple, but she's obviously in control and she looks very confident. Very, very strong end pose. Again, simple, but executed like a pro. And ladies, sometimes it is best to just keep it simple, but do it well instead of trying to do a million things and just kind of falling all over the place. Okay, our next contestant is dazzling in a two-tone evening gown. So it's a mix of sort of silver and then it sort of goes into a nice blue. She has a really lovely expression. She looks really confident and calm on stage. Loving the arm movements here. She's not holding it for too long, which I like, and she's moving on with her routine. Graceful descent down the stairs. And it looks like she's floating along the stage. Evening wear is meant to be smooth and not bouncy, and she's really gliding. She looks very sophisticated. I love this elegant posing. This is great for this area of competition. Perfect eye contact with the camera and the judges, making lovely shapes and angles with her arm and hip movement. So far, I think she's executed her routine absolutely perfectly. This is a fantastic evening routine, and I think she knows she's done a good job. She's smiling, she's enjoying herself, and she knows she's done a great job. A winning performance.
Now it's time for my top picks for evening wear. These ladies were an absolute standout for me. I thought that out of all of the contestants, these particular ladies had wonderful posture, great arm movements. I really liked their routines. I liked their gown choices. And I'm really sad that some of these ladies did not progress to the top 12. So a bit disappointed, but overall, I think that the placements were fair, as a lot of my top picks did progress.
Now it's time to see who made the next cut in Miss Grand India 2025.
Progressing was number 13, 5, 21, 11, 27, 14, 3, 28, 22, 18, and 26.
Then it was time for the top 12 contestants to enter the question and answer segment of the competition. Let's see how the ladies did. Okay, first up in the question and answer section of Miss Grand India, we had contestant number 13 who was asked, what does confidence mean to you and how has it shaped your journey? And I absolutely loved her answer. She started by saying she had a nightmare where she was back in 11th grade and she didn't have the answers to the exam. And then she went on to say that it's not really our successes that define us, it is our courage and our values that define who we are. And I thought that this was extremely inspiring. And I thought she had really strong messaging in her answer, and it was quite heartwarming. And I think that a lot of us could take something away from what she said. So I thought that she gave a fantastic answer. Next, we had contestant number 5 who was asked, how would you use your title to impact your community? And while she gave a nice answer, to be honest, she didn't really answer the question. It sounded like she was repeating a rehearsed answer, and while she was sharing, how proud she was that she won her district pageant, which was the first of its kind, and that she is inspiring people in her community, she didn't say exactly how she would use the title of Miss Grand India to make a positive impact in her community, for example, through community service work, advocacy work, or using social media to promote causes that are close to her heart. So unfortunately, this answer was lacking a little bit for me. Next, we had contestant number 21, who did admit that she was a bit nervous in the Q&A round, and I did feel that in her answer. So she was asked the question, how do you define the modern Indian woman and how do you represent her? And she was a little bit shaky, but she went on to say that, the world is all from women, because I guess women give birth. She said that women are multifaceted, we're mothers and we're modern women. And she answered the question, but it just wasn't the strongest answer for me, unfortunately. Next, we had contestant number 25, who was asked if she believes a beauty queen should focus more on appearance or personality and why. And she spoke about how we shouldn't really have to choose one or the other because we embrace both. And she spoke about how anyone can be beautiful, I guess, plastic surgery, but it's the personality that is really important. I think she was on the right track for her answer. I just think that she needed to really round out the answer to bring it home. It was close and it was a good answer, but it just could have been a little bit stronger. Next, we had contestant number 11, who was asked, what is one message you would want to send every young girl in India? And this is a great question to be asked, but I don't think she gave the strongest answer, unfortunately. She fumbled a little bit at the beginning, and then she went on to say, that when she was younger, she overcame some challenges because people criticized her because of the color of her skin. And then she went on to give a 3-step process for young girls to follow to achieve anything, which is just to be confident, be happy with what God gave you. And I think there was one more message, but I think that what the judges are looking for in an answer when you're asked a question like what's one message you would give young women, it's not just be confident, be happy, it's how do you do that? And it's like maybe through embracing yourself, and it just needs to be a little bit deeper and not so surface level. I think that she was on the right track, but again, not the strongest answer. Next, we had a contestant number 27 who was asked the question, if you win Miss Grand India, what would be your first responsibility as a title holder? Which is a great question to be asked at a beauty pageant, and she gave a fantastic answer. So she started by saying there's nothing that she would change about herself. And initially I was like, I'm not sure if she understood the question. But then she went on to speak about her platform and her advocacy, which is all about drug prevention and talking about, anti-drug abuse and how she wants to change things in, her country. And I just thought that it was a really strong answer because I like it when contestants talk about their advocacy or a platform, because it just shows that sort of beauty with a purpose, and that contestants are so much more than just, beautiful women in a gown. She obviously has a purpose that she's passionate about, so I thought that this was a fantastic answer. Next, we had contestant number 14, who was asked whether she believes education is, I think, one of the best ways to empower women. And she started by saying, she wanted to share her story before she answers the question, which I was like, ooh, because sometimes I think, contestants need to answer the question and not just share what they've rehearsed. But still, it is sometimes good to get to know a contestant on a more personal level. And I think she said that she When she was 19, she moved to Malaysia. I think she was working as cabin crew, so like for an airline is what I gathered, and that she learned a lot about the world. And then she went on to speak a little bit about her campaign for Miss Grand India, but I didn't really get a good grasp of what she is trying to achieve with her campaign. So it was kind of a good answer, but definitely wasn't one of the standouts for me in this particular area. Next, we had contestant number 3, who was asked, how can beauty pageants create positive change in society today? And let me tell you, this was my favorite answer in the question and answer segment so far. Oh my goodness, contestant number 3 blew me away. I literally got goosebumps. She spoke with such passion and confidence, and she was fierce, and all of her messaging was spot on. So she said that she's not just going to represent her state, but to empower women to own their voice and to claim space. She said that the Miss Grand platform has given her the power to command the stage and people, and she said that today all beauty pageants in fact give young women the opportunity to forge their way into fields that they want to go into. And she said that, believe her, she said, if you give a voice to a woman, she echoes freedom. If you give a platform to a woman, she will command it and she will empower the entire world, because women are always wonderful. And yes, we are. So I thought she gave a fantastic answer, and she had really positive messaging. And she ended on saying that it is okay to follow your passion over pressure, and it is okay to follow your purpose over predictability. Very, very eloquently said, and I just thought that this was an absolute gold star answer. Amazing. Next, we had contestant number 28, who was asked, what is one social cause in India that you are passionate about and why? And she said that she is passionate, I think, about child education, and she said that in many parts of India girls are denied education, and that if a girl is educated, she doesn't just uplift herself, but she also lifts up her entire family. It was a nice answer, and she did answer the question, but I think it would have been a bit of a stronger answer if she just could have elaborated a little bit more on, why is she passionate about this, and is she doing anything about it? Is she raising awareness through social media? Does she do any community service work? I think she just needed to round out her answer a little bit more, but overall, it still was a nice answer.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure where my footage went, but I will just let you know how I thought this contestant, who was contestant number 22, fared in the question and answer round. So contestant number 22, she was asked, what makes you unique from the other finalists standing here today? And she thanked the MC for the question and said that what makes her unique is that she empowers herself as a person, and that she was often told in the past that pageantry wasn't for someone like her, but with the support of her mother and her family's determination, she stands on the grand stage representing herself and other girls like her, and that she is good at connecting with the audience on an emotional level, and her vulnerability and understanding how others feel is a strength and not a weakness, and what makes her different to others. I do really like all the qualities that she mentioned about herself, but I don't think that these in particular were articulated in a way that made her seem really different from the other contestants, and why that would be relevant as the next Miss Grand India. So not the strongest answer for me, unfortunately. Next, we had contestant number 18, and she was asked, how would you handle negativity on social media as Miss Grand India? And she went on to say that she has this opportunity to talk to the world, and that she believes that there are two kinds of people in the world, positive and negative. And she went on to say that we should, just believe in ourselves, and that we're not defined by others, that we are enough. And if you believe in yourself and you work hard, don't worry about negative comments. And she said that negative people don't matter in your life. What matters is what you want to do and how you want to inspire people in the world. So it was an okay answer, but I don't think she clearly and strongly articulated, I guess, how she would handle the negativity on social media herself. And then if she wanted to make this answer stronger, she would have gone on to say what she was going to do with her platform on social media. But anyway, it is what it is.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think they left the best till last. Contestant number 26, I just got goosebumps listening to her answer. Contestant number 26 was asked the question, what do you think is the biggest challenge faced by women today, and how can we address it? And she went on to say that the biggest challenge that a woman faces today is how they are objectified. She went on to say that women are objectified for many reasons. People expect women to be a housewife and to serve the family, which is a loving thing. But she said that she stands here today as a woman who has surpassed how people objectify us. And she is making a statement that she can be a queen, she can be an entrepreneur, a daughter, and she can be the one who can make a change in this world, and that she stands here as a testament to that. I love that she actually answered the question. She said that one of the biggest challenges facing women is the objectification of women, which is true. And she said it with such poise and confidence and clarity. She gave a proper answer. I loved her answer, and it's absolutely, I think, my favorite answer in the Q&A section. Now, before we move on to final placements, I want to let you know, based on my analysis of all of the contestants I have reviewed today, who I would be progressing to the top 5, or the top 3, I should say. So the contestants that really stood out to me were contestant number 26, contestant number 3, contestant number 27, and contestant number 13. Those were my top picks. I think it's actually a top 4. Those were my favorite contestants so far. But obviously, I was not the one who made the final results. So progressing to the next stage competition is as follows. Okay, moving on to the next round of competition. I'm going to give my overview of how I thought all of the contestants fared in the final speech round of competition, and then I'm going to share with you who gave the best answers and who I had picked as the likely winner and first runner-up. However, I was incorrect. So starting with contestant number 27, she spoke about how women empowerment is a hot topic and that as women, we need to rise through struggles, and each and every one of us is overcoming some kind of struggle, and as a modern woman, we will rise. It was a nice answer, but it honestly wasn't the strongest answer in this final part of competition. Moving on to contestant number 13, she went on to say that she said that women are highly educated, and then she went to say that women, I think, just aren't the ones in the office, but they contribute to their families, and that the modern woman is decided not by what she wears, but by her values. Fantastic answer. I had contestant number 13 as either the winner or first runner-up. I thought she was fantastic throughout the entire competition. Moving on to contestant number 25, she spoke about how people will only believe in you when you believe in yourself, and that her advice to women is to never let your light shine dim, shine bright, and that we have the power within. I thought that her answer in this round was a lot stronger than her last answer, and I thought that she actually did pretty well. But because I'm balancing this answer with the rest of the competition, I don't think it was strong enough to win, but I did really like this answer. Moving on to contestant 28, she said that she's not just a woman, she is a strength, and she is change, and today we rise, and that she's not just standing here today for the crown, but for the girls who dare to dream big beyond limits. And let's build a world where we can celebrate women not just on one day. And I presume she was talking about International Women's Day. This was a good answer, but I don't think it was the strongest answer in this particular round, if I'm being perfectly honest. But she went on to win the competition, so I'm not sure. She must have excelled in other parts of the competition. Next, we had contestant number 26, and she spoke about how Miss Grand India is the best platform for women. And she spoke about uniting with her fellow contestants backstage in prayer, and that even though all the contestants are from different parts of India, like the north and the south, and everyone has different cultures, she said that they all united in prayer, and she spoke about diversity and unity, and that is the perfect representation of the modern Indian woman. This was a really real answer. She was a fantastic public speaker. She was my top pick in this particular round. So after this stage of competition, I truly thought that in top two, as in the winner and first runner-up, would be either contestant number 26 or contestant number 13. They all consistently giving really strong answers when they were speaking on stage. They also gave great stage performances. My particular favorite was contestant number 26. So I was a little surprised when they had the final top 5 announcement. Fourth runner-up was contestant number 25 in the beautiful green dress. I think that this was a fair placement. While on stage, her performance was really strong. She didn't have strong answers consistently, and I think that that's really important in a pageant. Now, in third runner-up place, we had contestant number 26, which, to be honest, I did think was a bit shocking. I really thought she would be the winner or be first runner-up because she was a magnificent speaker. And I know, and this is not to take away the win from the winning contestant, it's just that when you're analysing a pageant, contestant number 26 was undeniably probably the best speaker on that stage, except for a few contestants. She was very strong, plus she gave great performances in evening wear and swim, so I'm really surprised she didn't place even a little bit higher. And that is just the nature of pageantry. There's a lot of judging that happens off the stage, which is why sometimes contestants win and we all get a bit of a surprise. And that's not to take away from the contestants who win, but it is hard as someone who's analysing a pageant from just what I can see, which is the stage, performance and the Q&A section. And it is hard to watch contestants who are so good under pressure, give fantastic answers, not place better. But that's just the name and the game of pageantry. Now, in second runner-up, we had contestant number 13. Again, really surprised. She had really strong answers, very well spoken, great performances all round. So I was really disappointed for her as well. And then we had first runner-up, which was contestant 27, and the winner was contestant number 28. Now, I did really like contestant number 28's evening gown performance. She looked very elegant, very sophisticated, and it wasn't too much. So I did like her performance on stage, but her answers weren't as strong as some of the other contestants. But overall, she had the package that Miss Grand India were looking for, and I do wish her all the best when she travels to Bangkok to compete for Miss Grand International, which is going to be quite the journey, I'm sure. If you are enjoying these videos, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button because it really helps me know which videos you're liking and if you'd like me to continue to make these videos. And also comment below your thoughts. Now, I know that other pageant YouTubers have been sharing their thoughts on this topic, and I don't want to take away from the winner. It is very hard to win a pageant, and I congratulate contestant number 28, but I think it's healthy to always question the judging, because until judging is 100% transparent, I think we should be having these conversations. And the only way judging will be transparent is if the audience knows what points the contestants are sitting on when they come to finals night. So all of the backstage or all of the behind closed doors interviews and how the contestants are judged on how they are at rehearsals and pageant week, whatever. If the contestants have a score coming into finals, they need to let the audience know, and then I think they should share then on the night live scoring for evening wear and swimwear and Q&A so that it is completely transparent. But until that happens, we must then analyze the performances that we can see to see, was the right choice made? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, and I hope to see you next time.